I wouldn't classify this as paranormal, but there are spirits involved. Okay, let me just tell the story. So, this was, I believe, 2022. 2022, and it was the summertime. It was June. And okay, so let me give you a little like not backstory, but like a little fact. Something about me. So in the past, or in my past, every time something happened, like in the family, whether that be someone transitioning or maybe something bad has happened, this person was either on my mind heavy the night before, or like I'll hear their name, or something, like I'll have a dream of some sort. And this has never like failed me. Like every single time it happens, I just be like, here we go. Now this particular night, my grandma was on my mind, and I'm like, why is she on my mind so heavy? Like, I don't understand, but I know my grandma, so I was like, I'll call her in the morning because I know she's asleep. I know if I call, it may scare her, and I also was like, she may not get to the phone in time because it was nighttime, like, you know. So I go to sleep. Well, I was up very late, like very late, and I ended up going to sleep. And I didn't sleep very long. But I had a dream. And in this dream, I seen like this black figure. Let me pause it right here. Before anybody comes into my comments and starts saying anything about the Bible, demons, or whatever, I am from the South. I know what the Bible says. Okay? Thank you. Now back to the story. I seen this figure, and it was in my grandma's old house. Mind you, her old house was like very iconic. And when I say iconic, I mean she was there for many years. Pretty much like all my life, up until a certain point. And I could see this black figure in her kitchen, but it wasn't on the floor. Like it didn't have feet. I could feel that it was like a feminine energy. I'm like, okay, I know this person, but I can't see who they are. It's like, it was like a shadow almost. And I'm like, why can't I see this person? And they stayed in the kitchen the whole time. But as they were in the kitchen, my mom appeared. Like my mom and my grandma appeared, but they weren't in the kitchen. They appeared in the house elsewhere, and we started opening all the windows. So if you don't know, it is said that when someone transitions, to open the windows to set them free. So now I'm just like, we got a black blob in here. It's not on the ground. It looks like almost misty, kinda. I'm like, we got a blob. It's floating. I feel it's a woman. I know it's a woman. We're opening the windows. Who died? I kid you not. This is what I'm thinking. So we open up all the windows, and I remember when I opened the last windows in this room. It was like my grandma's So when I woke up, I just felt like I needed to call my grandma. Like, I gotta call my grandma, but I had woke up so early that morning that I was like, she's still asleep. So I said, okay. It was like 4 in the morning. I said, okay, well, I'ma just go about my day, and I'ma call her like 8 or 9, like, give her some time to get up and stuff. But before I could call her, I get the news that her sister passed away last night, which would be my great aunt. And I remember telling my mom, like, oh my gosh, like, I just had this dream. And I was like, I never told my mom, like, what happened in the dream. I just said I had a dream. In the dream, it kind of weirded me out, and I was gonna call grandma. But if I woke up at like 4 in the morning, by 5, I had got the news. So we ended up all coming together that day, and we ended up going over to my great aunt's house. We saw her son, etc. And so I remember we was in the car on the way back to my grandma's, and my grandma had made some comment about me calling her or not calling her. And I was like, actually, I was gonna call you, because I don't call her as often as I should. But I was like, actually, I was gonna call you. I was like, I had a dream, and I was gonna call you. She was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I had a dream that I didn't go into details, but I remember I said something like I had a dream, and I felt a feminine energy or something, and I was gonna call you to check up on you, whatever. Or no, I was like, the dream, after the dream, I just had this feeling, this, like, it was like something was in my ear, like, call your grandma, check on your grandma. She was like, really? I'm like, yeah. Now they all know how I am with the dreams and stuff. So she was just like, wow, well, that's ironic. So then fast forward later that day, me and my mom were talking, and I was like, yeah, I had this dream last night. And I was like, in the dream, I started telling her what happened. And she was like, when your grandma bought that house, my aunt came over, and she was like, she blessed the house, and she said she never left the kitchen. And I was like, that is crazy, because she never left the kitchen in my dream. And it was almost like, I don't know if she was coming up say goodbye or what she was doing, because I could never see that it was her. But for some weird reason, it's like, I know it was her now. And it's like, till this day, I still wonder, like, why did she come to me like that? Or like, why did she choose to come to me? Or was it like was she lost or what? I don't know. But she was a woman that was deep. I mean, neck deep in the church. So it's like, I don't have a question of where she went or anything, or if her energy was whatever. My TD alright. I know she's alright. I don't have to, like, she been neck deep in the church since I remember her. Like, since a kid. She been in the church since my mom was a kid, so yeah, because I know it's gonna be somebody in my comments like, it's a familiar, it's a whatever, or it could be like 3 years from now, and somebody will find this video and be like, oh, it's a familiar, or is this, is that, whatever makes you sleep at night. Okay, cool. And I'm happy for you. But yeah, one thing I do know is that if you're a dreamer like me, or you see things in dreams, etc., is one thing I noticed, because I've had my encounters with bad spirits in my dreams, and this is how I know encounters with bad spirits that I have had. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like if people were to encounter both or know they're encountering both, then you'll be able to tell the